This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good morning. Am I
Good
audible?
morning, sir.
Right. So we'll start. So how to create global macro variables? How to create global macro variables? So using percentage let, we can create global macro variables. At the same time, inside a macro also, we can create a global macro variable using percentage global statement. Using percentage global statement, we can create a global macro variable. Percentage global creates a macro variable and assigns null value. Creates a macro variable and assigns null value. If any macro variable is global, that you can call anywhere in the SAS system. Suppose to say if you are creating variable as global, suppose to say if you are creating a variable as global, we can call this variable in any part of your SAS system. For example, I have shown you in yesterday's example, percentage let bike equal to mountain class. So I have used this macro variable in where statement. At the same time, I have used this macro variable in title. Both I have done. Okay, right. And you can see here percentage macro dates. You can see right percentage global. You can see today one, yesterday, this month, last month. So using this macro variables, using this macro, we are creating a macro variables. Using this macro, we are creating a macro variables. Next. So here, sys function, why we use this function? In which case we use this function?
In macros, we use it.
Right. So if you wanted to evaluate a base as function value into a macro variable, then we have to use this percentage sys function, which I have told yesterday. So you can see here, this is my concept. So today one, yesterday. So what are the variables you wanted to create as a global macro variables? So you can still create them into global macro variables. Inside a macro, whenever we are creating a variable, it becomes local macro variable, correct? Whenever we are creating a macro variable, it will create as a local macro variable, correct?
Yes.
Right. So now you can see here, today one is equal to sys function of today comma date 9 dot. So today one variable, what value you will have? You will get system current date in general. But for us, it will say 27 April 2017. Yesterday's date means you see, right? INTNX function, what it will do? INTNX function, what it will do?
It will round up the values overall. It will add,
INTNX
like,
function,
it will add up and displace the date value.
it will increment or decrement your date time value. It will increment or decrement your date time value. Okay. Right. So here, if you see, yesterday is equal to days minus one. I wanted to subtract the 1 day from the variable today one. So what you will get? You will get yesterday date. Agree, yes or no? You will get yesterday's date, yes or no?
Yes.
Right.
Sir,
So you'll
what
get
is INTCK? It will give difference, sir.
INTCK gives difference between two dates in terms of days, months, years, whatever it is.
Okay, okay, sir.
INTNX will give increment or decrement your date values. It will increment or decrement your date values. Okay, right. Next, next one you can see here, yesterday is equal to, so this month means what you are doing, MON. So this month is 0 days, you're adding, you'll get same date. And the last month, so month minus 1, so April means it will show March. And str of yesterday comma 1 comma 5, 1 comma 5 means date and month, you will get it because 5 characters, right? So it will take date and month. And str of 3 comma 3, 3 comma 3 means it will show month. And you can see here last month also you can see last month d3 comma 3. So if you run the program here, I can show you same time. Today's date, it is taking 27 April. So day minus 1, you see, right, this is day minus 1, it is taking yesterday, it is 26 April. And you can see this month is 27 April 2017. And last month you can see, right, 27 March 2017. And the day you can see, right, 26 April. So it is showing substr of 1 comma 5. This is day. So you can see, right, 26 April. This is for yesterday, you are applying, so 26 April. And if you see month, you will get only month. 3 comma 3 means from these 3 characters, third position 3 characters, you will get April. Previous month is March. And if you are adding B, what it will do, it will add 0 months, it will give first date in that interval. So it is showing 1st April. And if you are adding E, you see, right, D0E. If you are adding E, it will show 30 April 2017. It will display end date of that month. Option B, option E, we all know, yes or no? Option B, option E, we all know, yes or no? Everyone clear, right? Next one, percentage local. Either we write percentage local or we are not writing anything. By default, whenever we are creating a macro variable inside percentage macro percentage min, it will be created as local macro variable. It will be created as local macro variable. Creates a macro variable and assigns null value. Creates a macro variable and assigns null value. So now you can see here percentage local variable. Okay, percentage local variable you can see. Right. Next. Either you write or you are not writing by default. It will work as a local macro variable only, nothing much big in this. So you can see here we can also write, like we have written percentage global statement. We can also write percentage local statement also to create a local macro variable. So if you see here, it will create, you see, right? Name is Akshara, age is 20, date, today's date, it is 27 April 17. Next. So I want everyone to read these 2 points. These are very much important. These 2 points and below these 2 points are very much important. I want everyone to read these points. I will explain what these are. I hope you guys are going through these points. So now you can see here, percentage macro name, percentage macro name, percentage global name, age, date. Okay, right. So now you can see here, you can't use percentage global statement. You can't use percentage global statement. Okay, you can't use percentage global statement to convert local macro variable into a global macro variable. Okay, right. So here you see, once you have created a variable as local variable, it will be created as local macro variable only. Okay, right. Next, suppose to say one more point. When creating a global macro variable inside percentage macro and percentage main, okay, whenever you are creating a global macro variable using percentage macro and percentage main. So here you can see you should always write percentage global statement immediately after percentage macro statement. Otherwise, it will not create as a global macro variable. Okay, otherwise it will not create as a global macro variable. So whenever you are creating a global macro variables inside percentage macro, percentage main, the first step after percentage macro you have to write is percentage global statement. Okay, right. Next, the percentage global statement creates macros with null values. So it will just create with null values. Okay, right. And you still have to initialize them using percentage let statement. So initially what it will do is, it will create only null values. It will create only null values, but still, if you wanted to reinitialize them, you have to use percentage let or calls input function. So percentage global, okay, creates macros with null values. Still you have to read the value into these variables using percentage let statement. Okay, right. If you define both local and global with same name, the macro processor uses the value of local macro variable during execution. Suppose to say I created variable x as global and I also created variable x as local. If you write percentage put ampersand x, it will show value from local macro variable. So this is the point. These are all the points that are important. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is that clear to everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I will show you with an example. So percentage let x equal to 10. Percentage let x equal to 10. If you run the program, you should write x is equal to 10. So at the same time, inside macro, I'm creating x. Whenever you are creating x inside macro, it will create as a local macro variable. Agree, yes or no? So I have defined x as a global macro variable. Again, I defined x as a local macro variable. So if you run the program, the value of x will be 10 or 20.
10.
So it will be ఇదే మరి ఇప్పటిదాకా మీరు ఏం చదివారు మళ్ళీ చదవండి దీన్ని
Put and call చేసాం కదా సార్. So it will be 10.
it will be taking value from local macro variable. Okay, it will be taking value from local macro variable. It is 20. X takes the value 20. Okay, so if you just run the program here, x takes the value 20 because it takes value from local macro variable. In local macro variable it is 20. Okay, Next.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. Okay, fine. So if you see log window, libraries, you will have the same. Next. So observe the below programs. You guys have to tell me the values of the below programs. Okay, so now you guys can tell me what is the value of let x is equal to 10. And if I run the program, so what value you get for x?
10.
X gets the value 10 or 20.
10, sir.
X gets the value 10 because here in this case I created macro mac1, but I did not execute it. I did not call that macro. If you call the macro at the back end, your macro variable x will be created. It will take the value 20 because here macro is nothing but a stored text. Agree? This is nothing but a stored text. If you run the program here, you can say log window x takes the value 10. Correct? X takes the value 10. Correct? Right. Next. Percentage let x is equal to 10. Macro mac1. Percentage let x is equal to 20. Percentage min. Percent mac1. Percentage put ampersand x. So if you run the program, what value you get?
20.
X takes the value
20.
20
20.
because
20. 20.
here I am executing the macro percentage mac1. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You're doing it right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next. You will get the value 10. Sorry, 20. You got 20. Next, in this case, what is the value of x? In this case, what is the value of x?
20.
Okay, x takes the value 20 or 10. So if you see here, x is equal to 10, correct? X is equal to 20, correct? So if you see here, percentage macro mac1, percentage local x. So whenever you are wantedly writing percentage local statement here, your SAS will understand that you are trying to convert global macro variable into local macro variable, which it will not accept. Okay, in this case, if you run the program, you will get the value 10.
So now x is equal to 10.
X takes the value 10 because it is not allowing x to convert into local macro variable. Okay, so that is what the point how or why it is 10. Got it clear everyone, yes or no? Everyone is
Yes,
clear,
sir.
yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Next. Calls input. So if you wanted to create a macro variable, we have different ways. Okay, we have different ways. So first one, you can use percentage let.
Let.
We can use calls input. We can do it. These are all the ways you can create macro variables. So now if you see here, creates a macro variable in a data step. If you wanted to create a macro variable in a data step, you can do that. Okay, right. So now I'll show you here, you can see. So now you can see here, using this data step, we can create a macro variable. For example, you can see here, suppose to say data ds calls input of amount comma 10,000, calls input of amount comma 10,000. So if you see here, okay, if you see here, you will get amount variable you can see. Okay, so amount variable you can see here, it will create as a macro variable and it will store the value 10,000. It will store the value 10,000. If you run the program here, amount variable will be created, it is storing the value 10,000. Clear to everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So it is clear to you. Right. Next. Next. Suppose to say in a variable Sas help.class, what it happens is, this is my data set Sas help. In this we are dealing with class data set. In this we are dealing with class data set. So in one macro variable by default we can store only one value. In one macro variable by default we can store only one value. Correct? Right. So now you can see here name, sex, age, height, weight. Okay. Right. Okay, so here if you see first value it will read Alfred into your macro variable student name. Second it will replace with Alice. Overall finally you will see William. Overall finally you will see William. So if you run the program, you can see here your if you see the value of your standard name, you will see it as William because this is the last one which is settling down. Okay, right. Next. So you can see this is how it works. So in the above program, it is showing only last value, correct? In the above program, it is showing only last value, correct?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So if you see here, I want all the values separately. In this case, you have to create separate macro variables. In this case, you have to create separate macro variables. Okay, right. So you can see here, you have to write a small technique. Okay, you have to write a small technique, right? So the technique is, I just combine with underscore and underscore values. Whenever you are reading a value, what happens? Whenever you are reading a value into a variable, SAS at the backend, it will create, SAS at the backend, it will create two automatic variables underscore and underscore error underscore, correct? So here you have underscore and underscore. So we are combining it. Okay. So we are combining it. Right. So if you see here, data DS, we are combining it. Right. So I'll show you here. data ds Sas help.class. So if you see here, it will create variables. Now if I write percentage put underscore, sorry, percentage put ampersand student name 1. So student name 1 means it will create student name 1, it will take first value in student name variable. So underscore 1 underscore, whenever you are reading first record, macro variable is created as student name 1. So student name 1 will have Alfred. You should write 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5 is Alice, Barbara, Carol, Henry. You will see same values. Alice, Barbara, Carol, Henry. You see, right? So we were storing these variables into different macro variables. We are storing these values into different macro variables. And calls input of age greater than or equal to 18. So here also again it will work and it will go for last value. So what is the last value? It is 15, right? 15 is less than 18. So it is not greater than or equal to 18. It is less than 18. So you will get the status as minor. Got the point? Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
it is minor, yes or no? You understood how
Yes,
it
sir.
is? You understood how it is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Into column, into SQL. Suppose to say I have a data set DS1. So into colon, whenever you wanted to create a macro variable using proc SQL, into colon, we use a technique called into colon. Suppose to say I have a data set DS1. I wanted to perform total of this salary. So total how much amount how much amount of money I'm paying towards salaries. So here proc SQL select sum of sal into salary. Into colon salary means this salary will be created as a macro variable. It is a global macro variable, and this variable will store the some total value, some value. Okay, right. So if you run the program, it will give us the total. So if you run the program here, you can see, so 1,29,500. This is the total amount I'm spending for employees' salaries. Proc SQL, no print. Select name into EMP name from DS1, quit. So if you run the program here, you can see it will select name into EMP name. So it will read first value. So in a data step, whenever you are reading, it is reading last value, right? But this proc SQL, it will read first value. Percentage put ampersand EMP name. So you see, right, ABC. So in this data set, you see, right, first value is ABC. It will read first value ABC. Okay, right. So if you wanted to read all the values, you can also read using proc SQL. You can read it. So here you will have a option called separated by. Separated by. I will give empty space. If you run the program, separated by space unda leda. So there is an error. Let me see. So separated by is one option you will have that you can do. Separated by. Okay, from DS1 this way. So you see, right, this separated by, you can see we will not use this, but still I'm telling you. So separated by, and you can write your data set name from DS1. So you see, right, ABC, DEF, XYZ, MNO, you can see, right? Okay, right. So misspelled, and you're writing this. So you said, right, you got space, right? A, B, C, D, F, E, M, N, O, R, S, T, X, Y, Z. So all the values you are able to store in one macro variable, right? So this is the option separated by, maybe in few interviews people are asking this, so we will not use anywhere, but still few people are asking. So whenever they are asking questions in macros, they were asking this type of questions. Okay, right. So you have to keep this point in mind. And macro parameters. Macro parameters. In SAS, we have two types of macros. In SAS, we have two types of macros. First one, keyword parameters, two types of parameters. First one, keyword parameters, position parameters. So position parameters, keyword parameters, both are one and the same. It is the way how we will pass the data. So in our initial days, we have learned named input style. What is the named input style?
Is equal to.
Named input style is, in your input statement, we write variable name is equal to value,
Yes,
correct?
and equal to. Yes, sir.
We write variable name equal to value, correct? Right. So we write variable name equal to value, correct? Right. So now you can see here, if you wanted to run this macro variable, okay, if you wanted to run this macro variable, okay, if you wanted to use this macros, we can do this. I'll show you. So first of all, whatever the macros we have written, they are positional parameters. How many of you tried writing programs in SAS? How many of you tried writing macros in SAS? I asked everyone to write 4 macros, right? Four programs, right? Agree, yes or no? I asked you guys to write macros, yes or no?
Yes,
4
sir.
macros. How many of you tried?
I did, sir.
So if you are doing it, we will get it. Otherwise, forget. You will not get it. So I created 3 variables here: percentage macro, import, path, comma. So if you see here, proc import percentage imp, path is d drive book one dot xlsx. I want everyone to mute. And data set name is ds1. Once you can you mute yourself. Okay, comma type. Type is XLS. So suppose to say in D drive I have a Excel file book one. So if you run the program, it will create your dataset Excel file. Same program I can use to read data from CSV file also. So now if you see here, D drive sample.csv ds2 CSV. So if you run the program here, you see log window, DS2 dataset. So even though you are able to read data from CSV file also, right? The same program. So in type we are changing XLSX CSV. So I changed it here. I have created a macro variable. I am passing value to that variable. Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is this clear to everyone? Yes or no? This is called
Yes, sir.
positional parameters, which we
Sir.
have learned in the beginning. Second one is keyword parameters. So keyword parameters you can see, right? Data import, path equal to, dname equal to, type equal to. So here we will give, in your raw data we have to give input as path equal to, dname equal to, and type is equal to. type is equal to, right? So you have to write import. So you see, right, it will work, see. So if you run the program, it will work, see. So this is called a keyword parameters. This is called a keyword parameters. Is this clear to everyone, yes or no?
Yes,
Is this
sir.
clear to everyone, yes or no? We just write equal to. So the one advantage you have with this is, even though you write in any order, it will work. Whatever the order you give input, it will work, because it is taking values based on variable name equal to value, correct? Macro variable equal to value. So it will read your data. So this type of input is similar to named input in input style. Okay, so I want everyone to practice all these programs which are given in your notes. Okay, I want everyone to practice all the programs which are given in your notes. So tomorrow I will start straight away macro autocall features. Okay, tomorrow I will call straight away macro autocall features. Everyone should write a program. If you're writing, then only you'll get it. If you're not writing, I can't help you. Okay, if you're not writing, I can't help you. So please practice all the programs. So this program you can ignore. This works with 9.2 only, you can ignore, no issues. Okay, but rest all the programs, a simple subsetting for that also you can do it. You can create two macro variables, you can write the names for the data sets. Export, like we have done for import export. So for printing, for graphs, so all these are small things, you guys can do it, it's not a deal. Okay, if you know the base Sas program, writing a macros is very easy. We just need to identify the places where we are changing the code. So we will identify the places where we are changing the code. In that place, we give ampersand macro variable name. Okay, all these things you can do it for sure. Please practice it. Tomorrow, I'll go ahead with the concepts that are left over. That's all for today, guys. Thank you. Bye.